Hello, movie lovers! Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest movie recaps and analyses. Now let's jump into the thrilling world of John Wick Chapter 4, filled with action-packed moments that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Spoilers ahead, so proceed with caution. John Wick, alongside his faithful pit bull, seeks refuge in New York City with the Bowery King. During relentless training sessions, John's knuckles bleed as he hones his skills. The Bowery King approaches and asks if John is ready to face the high table. With a simple, "Yeah," John confirms his readiness. He then sets off for Morocco, where he mounts a horse and tracks down men associated with the Elder. After eliminating his targets, John confronts the Elder, demanding the return of his ring. When the Elder reveals it's no longer in his possession, an exasperated John executes him and departs. Back in New York, Winston and Sharon are summoned by the Harbinger to meet with the Marquis de Gramont, a representative of the High Table. Upon hearing of the Elder's death, the Marquis rebukes Winston for failing to kill John. As punishment, he orders the destruction of the New York Continental and declares Winston excommunicado. To further compound the insult, the Marquis shoots Sharon in the chest, leaving Winston to grieve his loyal friend. Meanwhile, in Paris, a blind assassin named Cain observes his daughter Mia playing the violin in a park. The Marquis coerces Cain into pursuing John by threatening Mia's life, forcing the retired assassin to reluctantly accept the mission. John, meanwhile, arrives at the Osaka Continental, where his old friend Shimazu Koji is the manager, and his daughter Akira serves as the concierge. Despite Akira's mistrust, Koji offers John sanctuary. Soon after, Chidi, the Marquis's right-hand man, arrives with a hit squad, trying to draw John out. Koji's men engage the high-table assassins, firing arrows from the shadows. As the hitmen reach the rooftop, John retrieves his gun, ready to unleash his lethal skills. Cain soon joins the fray, cutting down enemies with expert precision using traps, his sword, and a gun. Amidst the chaos, Akira also joins the battle, taking down some of Chidi's men, though she gets wounded in the process. John, ever the protector, helps Akira and Koji to safety before continuing his fight, using nunchucks with deadly accuracy. Cain eventually locates John. Despite their shared history, he is driven by his duty to protect Mia. A brief confrontation follows, after which John manages to escape. Amidst the ongoing gunfights, a tracker known as Mr. Nobody appears with his loyal German shepherd, assisting John while holding out for a higher bounty. Koji and Akira encounter Cain during their escape, but despite their past friendship, Koji forbids Cain from pursuing John. This leads to a sword duel between them. Even when it seems Koji could walk away, he fights on until Cain delivers a fatal blow. Akira, stricken with grief and a thirst for revenge, cradles her dying father. She attempts to take up her father's sword to kill Cain, but he advises her against it, hoping to spare her from a similar fate, and assures her they will cross paths again. Devastated, Akira heads to the train station where she confronts John, holding him responsible for her father's death. She vows to kill Cain or face John's wrath if he fails to do so. Winston and the Bowery King, aware that their association with John puts them in danger, meet to discuss their precarious situation. Meanwhile, the Harbinger reprimands the Marquis for the excessive violence at the Osaka Continental. However, the Marquis justifies his actions, claiming it is essential to destroy John Wick's image as invincible and untouchable. Mr. Nobody visits the Marquis, demanding a $23 million contract for killing John. To test Mr. Nobody's resolve, the Marquis impales his hand, forcing him to choose between removing the knife or his ambitions. Mr. Nobody opts to remove the knife, slicing between his fingers, and the Marquis agrees to his request. John meets with Winston at Sharon's tomb to express his condolences. Seeking vengeance against the Marquis, Winston advises John that his only way to gain freedom from the High Table is to challenge the Marquis to a duel. Although these high-table duels are believed to be a myth, John decides to seek the support of his estranged family, the Ruska Roma, who had disowned him. Traveling to Berlin, John is met with hostility and is nearly hanged by his adoptive sister Katya, who blames him for their father's death. To make amends, John offers his services. Katya tasks him with eliminating Killa, a German high-table member responsible for their father's demise. John infiltrates Killa's nightclub, where he encounters Cain and Mr. Nobody, both having tracked him down. As they sit down for a card game with Killa, the situation quickly turns deadly as Killa cheats and orders his men to attack. Cain and Mr. Nobody hold their ground, with Nobody's loyal dog lending a paw. John meanwhile pursues Killa through the club, unnoticed by the oblivious partygoers. In a fierce battle, John finally corners Killa, and despite being pushed over a balcony manages to send Killa tumbling down a stairway to his death. John takes one of Killa's gold teeth as proof of his success and presents it to Katya, who approves. She then leads John through a ceremony where he is branded with the family crest, securing their support for the duel. Winston confronts the Marquis with the official challenge for the duel, insisting that the High Table's customs must be followed. Despite initial resistance, the Marquis agrees, with the condition that if John loses, Winston's fate is sealed along with his. The duel is set for sunrise at the Sacred Coeur in Paris, with Cain serving as the Marquis's second, promising freedom for himself and his daughter if he kills John. John, seeking solace, visits a church to pay tribute to his late wife, Helen. Cain joins him, and they share a moment of reflection on what they both stand to lose. Later, John meets with Winston and the Bowery King, who arm him with a new gun and a bulletproof suit. As the time for the duel nears, the Harbinger reminds the Marquis of the consequences if John wins. To prevent John from reaching the Sacred Coeur in time, the Marquis sends Chidi and his men to kill him. A radio DJ announces the bounty on John, luring more assassins to the hunt. As John fights his way through the streets of Paris, dodging gunfire and traffic near the Arc de Triomphe, more assassins join the chase. In a warehouse, John uses explosive rounds to eliminate his enemies, while Mr. Nobody helps out, still holding out for a better offer. The Marquis eventually raises the bounty to $40 million, drawing even more desperate assassins. Finally, John reaches the steps of the Sacred Coeur, where he encounters Chidi. The fight is brutal, with Chidi knocking John back down the steps. Cain arrives just in time to assist John, and together they take down Chidi's men. Mr. Nobody also steps in, seeking revenge on Chidi for mistreating his dog. With their combined efforts, Chidi is subdued. Mr. Nobody's dog delivers the final insult, urinating on Chidi's face before Mr. Nobody delivers a fatal shot to his head. As the sun rises, John and Cain face each other in a traditional duel, pistols in hand. They exchange shots, each hitting the other twice. In the third round, Cain wounds John in the abdomen. To everyone's surprise, John refuses to fire back. The Marquis, thinking he has won, steps forward to deliver the final blow, but Winston, ever the strategist, calls him out for his arrogance, revealing that John still has one bullet left. Realizing his mistake too late, the Marquis is swiftly killed by John. The Harbinger declares both John and Cain free from their obligations to the High Table. Exhausted, John descends the steps, whispers Helen's name, and collapses. John Wick dies as a free man. Winston and the Bowery King lay him to rest beside Helen, honoring his final request with a tombstone that reads, "Loving husband." The Bowery King questions Winston about John's fate in the afterlife, but Winston can only respond with uncertainty. They leave together, with the Bowery King taking responsibility for John's dog. In a post-credits scene, Cain approaches Mia to reunite with her, but Akira, filled with vengeance, steps forward, ready to take her revenge. And there you have it, an in-depth look at John Wick Chapter 4. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our exciting movie recaps.